Welcome guys to a brand new video on One Punch Man World. In today's video we are going to do our first proper tier list video. So I'm going to be ranking SSR characters and SR units as well. Now I've tested out a bunch of the SSR characters. The only one I really don't have too much of an opinion on is Fubuki. Because I don't have her on my main account, but from what I can see I don't really think she's that OP or that strong. But obviously there is other characters that are currently not in the game right now, like Prison Sonic, Atomic Samurai. So we have the tier list over here. S rank will be the high tier characters. D rank, I had a previous intro recorded already for this video, but I had to change it just because I didn't really like it. But in today's video our main focus is creating this amazing tier list. Now this is recorded straight after improving my tier list a little bit, because I added a new tier, SS tier, towards the end of the video, which you will see. But initially when this video cuts you will see only S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier and D tier, and then the unknown tier. As you can tell, how I'm going to be ranking this characters from the best to the best. Who is the best characters in the game. Whoever is the best I will put in front. So if I was to put like let's just go with Genos. Just let's assume Genos is here, and then I put this other Genos in here. This means that this version of Genos is better than this Genos. So if I was to put Saitama and I did it like this, then this would mean that Saitama is better than Genos, and then it will be like, oh, it's like Genos is better than Zombie Man, all of that stuff. So it's in order as well. So that's how I've done this tier list as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. There might be a slight controversy in terms of who is the best SSR in this game. Is it Tatsumaki or is it Zombie Man? Where is Zombie Man after I just said his name? Or is it Zombie Man? Many people might disagree with how I place those characters. And then we also have characters like, I had to, depending on whether the AI is controlling them or you're controlling them, their ranking actually changes. For example, characters like Speeder Sound Sonic, he is an iffy character to use in my opinion. If you're not controlling him, he kind of becomes like not really that strong. But if you're controlling him, it becomes absolutely amazing. Yeah, enjoy the video guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more content on One Punch Man World. It's been your boy AC Gamer, and let's get right into it. I did this unknown rank where I put characters that are currently not in the game, so we don't know how good they are. So characters like those two, King as well, and then also the Genos. Where is he? This Genos as well, and I think that is it. So when it comes to ranking my characters, this is what I'm going to be put to them as. First of all, SR units. Now I'm not going to pretend like I've tested every single one of them, but from the ones I've tested, this is how I would place them in terms of ranking. I think these particular SR units are one of the strongest in the game, honestly. Some of the strongest ones. I wouldn't say this is accurate, like, oh, Staff Lily is better than Ion and better than this character. I can't really say it for certain, but this, in my opinion, are the top 5 SR units in the game. Definitely for certain. Top SR units. And then for the other SR units, I think he is decent, not on the same tier as those ones, but I will put him in C tier. And now Moonman Rider is okay with the current exploitation, I guess you could say, where Moonman Rider, when he uses his bicycle form and he bashes to the enemy and you pretty quickly cancel out of the rest of the attack, you can actually do insane amount of damage. Now people are calling that a bug. Now if it turns out the devs are not going to fix that, or it's intended, then Moonman Rider is definitely going to be B tier. In fact, maybe even a little bit A tier as well, but he's going to be one of the strongest strongest characters to use to deal damage. However, if it turns out it is a bug and the devs decides to fix it, then he's gonna fall down to D tier. Honestly, I hate his gameplay. I don't think his gameplay is that good. I don't think his damage is that great. So it depends, guys. If it's the broken Moonman Rider that we know of, that you exploit that bug, use the bash of his bicycle, and you do great damage, then he's gonna be up here in B tier along the greatest SR units, potentially A tier as well. But I'm going to leave him there for now. Depending on what the devs do, like I said, he might go all the way to D tier. So we'll leave it at that. And then for Saitama, I really don't like his playstyle. I think he's the worst version of Purple Prisoner. And Purple Prisoner is not even that, like, amazing, I guess. So it's between C tier or D tier, honestly. If you want to use the Saitama, you have to control him. It's more of a defensive style. So I'm just going to put him in D tier. And then for the other ones, I think Golden Ball is good. I haven't really tested him that much though, I can't lie. Compared to the other 5 SR units, I haven't really tested him. I don't think this Mighty guy is that great either, especially with his throwing of his Mollets or something. I don't really like that, and I don't think his damage is great. But like I said, these 2 particular SR units I haven't tested that much, so I don't really know how great they are. So maybe I should just put them in unknown or do not know right now. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. But for my initial gameplays for those 2, I don't think they're that strong, especially when you have other SR units that you can build. I would say Moon Rider is the least one you want to build, just in case they do nerf him or fix the bug. Now when it comes to SSR units that you guys are very excited with, let's go ahead and do the ranking. So who is the one going, actually no, it's Genos. Genos is going to be S tier in my opinion. Now depending on whether you have his impression arm, he could be a lot higher. His impression arm is one of the best in the game. If you have his impression arm, straight away S tier. One of the best characters and main important characters you would use in your team alongside Zombie Man as well. But if we're not including impression arm, it's still going to be S tier, just not the best in the game. Maybe even a little bit underneath to A tier. But I think he's a very strong character for breaking specifically. Now Saitama, once again, I think S tier as well. His damage is extremely good. His damage is consistent as well, unlike some of our characters, like for example Speed of Sound Sonic. I think he's a good character, but if the AI is controlling him and you're going against enemies with small attack range or small hit range, it kind of reduces his damage overall, because you basically want to counter attack. So if the enemy doesn't have aggro towards Speed of Sound Sonic and you can't counter, his damage is significantly reduced. So sometimes his damage is actually very inconsistent. Now if you're controlling him, then he's an absolutely beastly amazing character. His damage isn't as good as like, okay, I think his damage actually is on par with, is it on par with Saitama? I would say it's on par, I would say. But just because Saitama is more consistent, whether you control him or the AI is controlling him, I'm going to put him above Speed of Sound Sonic. Like I mentioned, Speed of Sound Sonic is inconsistent. If you're not using him and you're not manualing him, and the AI is using him, and you're going against enemies with like the attack range isn't good or is not huge, so less chance of him being targeted, it's a downgrade for him. You want it to be targeted because you want him to counter attack and dash traits to the enemy's back, so he can deal with huge amount of damage and gain a lot of top speed to then use his 3rd skill that does great damage. So I'm going to leave it at that. So Pro Prisoner, similar issue with Speed of Sound Sonic. The fact that you want to technically control him because his blocking is built into his kit. Blocking is especially important to him, but enemies don't really focus on the AI characters. They focus on the characters you manual for some reason. We have aggro. I think AI is in this game needs an improvement, especially some of the AI we control or the boss or the enemies we're going against, because characters like Pro Prisoner is straight up a defensive / attacker. He basically gets stronger the more he gets attacked, but the issue is aggro isn't usually on him. Aggro is usually on the characters you're using and you're manualing. So unless you're manualing him, you won't really be able to safely use him, especially with his own specific memory as well. When he has a successful block, his damage is actually increased and he gains a lot more of the points that he requires to do his 3rd skill or make his 3rd skill deal insane amount of damage. Compared to the other characters on top, his damage isn't as good as well. Now Zombie Man, straight up S tier, and I'm going to put him above the rest of them over here. Oh, Saitama, in my opinion, might be, yeah, I don't know, it's dependent, because Genos can actually switch into a melee to range form, which sometimes is actually very strong, sometimes very useful depending on the enemy you're going against. So I don't know, I think I'll put Saitama first over Genos though. And then I think because Sonic is inconsistent, guys, I'm sorry, I had to put him further down in the S tier. When it comes to, who else I talk about? Yeah, amazing character, great damage, literally no downgrade, no negatives about this character. Fang has to be an A tier and top of A tier at that. The only issue is similar to Pro Prisoner and Speed of Sound Sonic. You want to basically control him and you want to parry as much as possible, but the AI just if he's not being focused on, he might not be able to parry that well, as well as the AI doesn't actually accumulate the points that he requires for his third skill to deal insane amount of damage. The AI uses it, so this actually affects his overall DPS as well. He isn't like a perfect character. I think overall in the future though, he might become one of the best characters to use, but he has a high skill level requirements to actually use him, because you need to parry extremely well, you want to accumulate the points extremely fast. But he's a very tricky character to use if you're going to manual him compared to the other characters on top that you can deal a huge amount of damage. Now this is where the controversy might come about with Tatsumaki and her position. She is going there, in my opinion. Like I said, Zombie Man literally has no issues, no negatives from Zombie Man. But with Tatsumaki, even though her damage can definitely rival Zombie Man, it isn't like a huge amount. It's probably like 10% increase, 15% increase, but she does have a downgrade or like a weakness, which is usually if you're going against multiple units, she's unable to accumulate telekinesis points as fast as possible or even much reliably, so she can't enter the liberation phase as fast as possible, which affects her overall damage. Second of all, her second skill basically locks her in place when she's using the Vortex ability, which makes her susceptible to damage, and is a little bit tricky to use. Depending on when you use it, can actually affect her as well. Sometimes you might have to cancel out of the second skill depending on the current situation. So honestly, straight up second in the game, but don't get me wrong, she's an absolutely amazing character. Now Fubuki is the only SSR character in the game I don't have, and I haven't really tested much of. I had her on my previous account, but she was very hard to use. Honestly, I think I prefer Puri Prisoner to her even. I think she's the weakest out of all the SSR characters in my opinion. I think her damage scaling isn't that high compared to the difficulty of using her. I think for AI, perfect. AI is perfect to use her though. But even then, I don't think her damage is that strong compared to the other really strong characters on the top. And then we have Metal Knight. Straight up gonna put him here. Nope, Metal Knight is definitely better than Genos. And yeah, okay. Once again, Metal Knight has a memory skill that he needs to stay still. Now, depending on the AI and depending on the enemies you're going against, that could be tricky. However, he's still a consistent huge DPS character and deserves to be this. So once again, if I was to put characters, this is the ranking I would choose. And I think Sonic is definitely the weakest out of the S tier, simply because of inconsistency. But if you can control him, his damage can actually go pretty high, all the way to like here or here. But if you don't control him and the enemy doesn't hit him and he doesn't do his counter attack, it's a miss. It's a miss with him. Okay, so yeah, this is my ranking specifically. I will put him over here. I like Stinger a little bit more, but I think I'll leave it like this. And I think he might even be better to use than this one. Okay, there we go. This is my tier list specifically. Now, if I was to change this to like SS tier, A tier, S tier, actually, maybe I should do that. So this is it for now, but I'm gonna create a second tier, S tier. This is SS tier, the best of the best. Let's just improve this slightly. There we go. If I was to do this, it would have to be like this, straight up, and then everyone else at S tier. It would have to be like this. Actually, I think this is much better. Sometimes I prefer Metal Knight over Saitama, depending on how it works. But Saitama is a perfect character for the AI to control, I think, as well. Sometimes it works. So yeah, this would be my actual proper tier list actually. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more content on One Punch Man World. Let me know down in the comment section if you agree or disagree. It's been your boy AC Gamer, and I'm out.